Kylian Mbappe looks like he's finally going to be leaving Paris Saint-Germain if you read recent reports. Now, you never quite know what's going on with Kylian Mbappe at the best of times. I mean, I don't know how many times in the last 4 or 5 years I've seen that Mbappe is leaving Paris Saint-Germain. You know, like he's packed his bags, he's ready to go, he's going to Real Madrid. You know, it's a done deal, it's signed, it's sealed, it's delivered, and then all of a sudden he says, do you know what? Nah, I'm not. You know, I just don't really fancy it. But his contract does end at the end of the season, and I think many people probably remember in the summer there was like a mad standoff between Mbappe and the Paris Saint-Germain ownership in terms of whether he was going to stay. Paris Saint-Germain obviously wanted to generate some kind of income for him going, but then he ended up staying, so it looked like maybe he was going to sign a new contract. But here we are in the January transfer window. He's free to talk with other clubs. He's free to leave at the end of the season on a free transfer, and it's looking like it's going to happen, to be fair. And the question then becomes, who will Kylian Mbappe sign for when the transfer window opens in the summer? And will it get announced pre-summer? Probably not, because he's probably going to wait until the final cup. You know, he's going to wait until the summer so he gets his signing bonus and all that crack and everything else. And when you look at reports, there seems to be a couple of clubs that are in line to potentially sign Kylian Mbappe. You've got Real Madrid, who are the obvious favourites. Mbappe, you read reports and you look into his story, he grew up as a Real Madrid fan. Real Madrid were his club. They were the club he supported as a boy, and he's been pretty open in the past in saying that he always wanted to go to Real Madrid. And Real Madrid have always been a club who've been hugely interested in Kylian Mbappe, so much so that they even, kicked up a massive fuss once before when Mbappe decided to stay with PSG and not go to Real Madrid, which is kind of mad as well. You very rarely ever see a team like literally release a statement like when they don't sign a player because he's decided to stay at the current club. Like, that was a little bit bizarre. I think La Liga even released a statement when that happened as well. Like, that just goes to show how much Kylian Mbappe means to, the likes of La Liga, the likes of Real Madrid, because they really do see him as a star asset, considering, Messi's left that league, Ronaldo doesn't play in that league anymore. You don't have that many like top stars in that league anymore as you did, like, say, back in the 2000s. So getting Kylian Mbappe there would have been huge for the league and also for Real Madrid. Liverpool have been heavily linked with Kylian Mbappe over the last couple of years. We're going to discuss that as well, because as a Liverpool fan, I would love to see it happen, but I'm going to be straight up honest, I don't see that happening ever, and we're going to discuss why. But yeah, the Mbappe to Liverpool links are a little bit mad, to be honest. They're very unusual, and certainly we're going to get into that. Saudi Arabia have very much been knocking on the door as well. Yeah, obviously we saw Saudi sign the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. We've saw Neymar go there. Mane's gone there. Like, so many big stars have gone to Saudi in the last year or so, and no doubt they're still gonna try and get Mohamed Salah, but most definitely they're gonna put in an offer to Kylian Mbappe, and you better believe it's gonna probably be the biggest deal we've ever seen for a footballer in terms of how much he's going to get paid weekly and bonuses and everything else. And there's going to be some mental deals, no doubt about it, that is going to be thrown at Kylian Mbappe. And will he will he be able to refuse it? Like, it's going to be hard. However, the big caveat to that, though, is that Mbappe is 25 years of age, and you would think that, the big deals, whether going to Saudi Arabia or, it was China a couple of years ago, wherever it might be in 3-4 years' time, I'm sure there'll be another country knocking around. Or maybe Saudi will still have the firepower and everything else in terms of bringing players to their league. So that deal is not going to go anywhere. So I think from a Mbappe perspective, you would hope that common sense would prevail, and he'd look at it and think, you know what, I want to win a Champions League, I want to win major trophies abroad, maybe I want to play in the Premier League, maybe I want to play in La Liga, don the white shirt of Real Madrid. I think going to Saudi at his age right now it'd be very disappointing to see, and it would definitely be an indication that football is not safe from, money. Do you know what I mean? It's probably not safe already, but if you have one of the best players in the world in his prime go to Saudi at 25 years of age, yeah, that would be a little bit worrying. There is also the option that he extends and stays at Paris Saint-Germain. When you actually look at the bookies odds, funnily enough, this is the sort of favourite decision. Like, I was looking on Odds Checker, and Real Madrid are currently 8-1, Liverpool are 20-1. I think Saudi is like 30-1 or something like that. But staying with PSG is actually the odds-on favourite for Kylian Mbappe. And yeah, I don't know if they know something that we don't, because like his contract is going up in the summer. I think he does want to leave. I think he's wanted to leave for some time. I think he's just been, because of agents and everything else, and because of the power that PSG have in terms of the amount of money they can offer Kylian Mbappe, it's been very hard for him to walk away from that. And he also does have a very good connection with Paris Saint-Germain. He's from Paris, knows the club inside and out. He's been there, 7 years now. So like, he does have a connection to the club, absolutely no doubt about it, and I think that's why it's been very hard for him to walk away from it. So when you look at the options, I mean, like, outside of those clubs, I don't think anyone else signs him. I think Manchester City could afford him, but I think, look, they have Haaland, and I don't think they would want Mbappe, in my opinion. I mean, look, I'm sure they would want Mbappe, but I can't see that one happening, considering Manchester City obviously have Haaland and have their attack very much sorted. There is an argument you could probably sign Mbappe and play him on the right or the left, but please, God, no. Man City with Mbappe, with Haaland up front, oh.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
And all the other clubs like Barcelona have financial issues, so that's definitely not going to happen. I think, imagine Real Madrid if Barcelona signed Mbappe. Oh my God, they would go absolutely nuts. And other clubs in the Premier League just don't have the financial power. And that very much leads me on to Liverpool. For people who follow this channel, probably know I'm a Liverpool fan. And Mbappe, it's going to be... I just don't ever see it happening. I never have seen it happening. And it's just... for me, it's just a whole propaganda PR spin from Liverpool's owners. I'm sorry, I don't mean to... You know, everything's going really well for Liverpool right now in terms of, you know, on the pitch and everything else. Still massive question marks over the owners, in my opinion, in terms of... investing in the right areas. I do genuinely believe if Liverpool never got Klopp, you know, Liverpool would not be the team that they are. And I think a lot of Liverpool's success, I think, is 60 to 70% down to Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion. I really do. In terms of what he's been able to build. I think, look, the ownership model has had its good moments in terms of sporting directors, in terms of recruitment. I think we've done quite well in that area. But I do think Jurgen Klopp has been very much a key part to that, in my opinion. And there's multiple reasons why Mbappe going to Liverpool just does not make sense. First of all, Liverpool under Fenway Sports Group, and generally, you know, in all our lifetimes, especially in my lifetime, they very rarely ever go out and buy a ready, proven star who's already... you know, won major titles, who's already won major competitions, who's got a massive salary in terms of wages, and is a player that everybody wants. Like, when you look through it, like Mohamed Salah was playing for AS Roma at the time. We spent 35 million on him. He wasn't a proven ready. He wasn't the star that he is now, and wasn't, you know, even a few years ago. Do you know, like, people remember he was at Chelsea and it didn't really go too well there. You look at players like Sadio Mane that we signed from Southampton. Van Dijk, fair enough, was a huge star, but again, he was playing for Southampton, so he wasn't on massive wages. Do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool very rarely go out and buy the absolute best that's available in a specific position, because they have a specific wage structure, transfer policy, and it can be fucking annoying at the best of times, if I'm being brutally honest. Probably the reason why we've let so many big players go, and free transfers and everything else, and the whole scenario with Salah's contract in the last couple of years as well was that was also sort of part of the whole situation. So signing Mbappe on massive wages, just don't see it happening. The only way maybe it happens, and I say maybe, but I still don't even think it happens, if Mohamed Salah goes to Saudi for, you know what, 200-300 million, the amount of money that they were offering in the summer transfer window. Someone said to me during the week that, like, if they wanted to take Salah, they could probably take him for less now because they offered a huge amount in the summer. I actually disagree. I think if they were going to have any chance with Salah, they would now need to offer even more, because of the fact that Liverpool are in a title race. Salah is in unbelievable form. And look, I don't think he goes anywhere in the January transfer window. I think that goes without saying. Salah is not leaving in January, because it's just absolutely mental considering the position that Liverpool are in. Maybe he goes in the summer, with the fact that his contract expires a year after that. Does that maybe open the door with the Salah money to bring in Mbappe, to pay his wages, to pay the bonuses and everything else, considering we wouldn't have to pay a transfer fee? I'm just not too sure, to be honest. And there is this weird connection with Kylian Mbappe and Liverpool. Like, if you look on Twitter, which I know is certainly not a reliable source by any stretch of the imagination, but if you look into reports Apparently Liverpool tried to sign him as a teenager. Apparently Kylian Mbappe's mother supports Liverpool as well, which is a little bit of a unusual. It sounds like a lie, but it might be true. I don't know. Like, usually there's no smoke without fire with these things. But even apparently that we flew him around in a private jet, like when he was a teenager or something, and tried to sign him. And apparently we tried to get him when he was at Monaco as well. And Jurgen Klopp's a big admirer and all this stuff. Like, that's all fair enough. I mean, I think everyone's a big admirer of Kylian Mbappe. Do you get me? Like, I think everyone's a big fan of Mbappe. So, but yeah, I just don't really see it happening. And then Mbappe as well. There is a question mark over his attitude in terms of having a massive ego. And, like, I even seen a video of him with Paris Saint-Germain the other night during the Super Cup where he just ran over and wanted to lift the trophy straight away before the presentation. Like, it was sort of like, you know, everything's done on his own terms. We saw him at times with Paris Saint-Germain, like, kicking up a fuss, like, walking off the pitch and all this crack. Like, he has so much power at Paris Saint-Germain that, like, it definitely has gone to his head a bit. Like, it's almost like he runs the club in many ways, the way he's going on. All those rumours in his contract that apparently he had say over transfers and everything else. And I know that's come out to be a load of bollocks and everything else, and it probably is a load of bollocks, but you'd probably say he has so much power there that it's like, to bring in someone like that to Liverpool where he wouldn't have that same level of power, yeah, I'm not sure. And like, one thing about Jurgen Klopp is that he doesn't like massive egos or players who think they're better than everyone else, and he's been pretty outspoken about that in the past. There's a reason why he's got rid of players pretty quickly when he came into Liverpool, and he said, you know what, you're not for me, I'm going to get rid of you and everything else, because he doesn't want the dressing room. He doesn't want the dressing room to be unbalanced. He doesn't want the dynamic within the Liverpool team to be unbalanced. And I think if Mbappe was to come in, like, he would be such a megastar as opposed to the rest of the team. I know Liverpool do have megastars right now in terms of Salah, in terms of Van Dijk, in terms of Alisson, but I think everyone's sort of at an even spectrum, and the dynamic in the squad is okay because Salah, when he joined Liverpool, was not what Mbappe was at now, if you get me. So personally, I don't see Mbappe signing for Liverpool. Would I want to see it happen? Absolutely, for sure. You know, of course, who would not want to see Mbappe play for their team? But I don't see it happening. And an interesting question as well, would you take Salah leaving to bring Mbappe in? Do you know what? I actually wouldn't. I would keep Salah, no question about it. Keep him, because we know what Salah can do. Like, Mbappe in the Premier League, like, the probability is that he absolutely explodes in the Premier League, as he has, you know, for majority of teams he's played in. I think Salah would still do better. You know that? I still think Salah would do better. And look, if we want to call a spade, Real Madrid surely has to be the team that he goes to, because look, as I said before, you read reports and everything else, grew up as a Real Madrid fan, had the posters on the wall and everything else, and Real Madrid need a player like Kylian Mbappe. They really, really do. They need an out-and-out forward who can bang in goals, who can deliver, who can be the man to get them over the line, because obviously Benzema left last summer, and the fact that Real Madrid haven't signed an out-and-out striker as a replacement tells me that, okay, I think they're waiting for Mbappe. I think they're waiting for him, because they would have went out and bought an absolute world-class striker last summer, absolutely no doubt about it, if they weren't waiting on Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're 100% waiting on Mbappe. Absolutely no doubt about it. They've obviously been rebuilding their midfield ever so slightly in the last couple of years. The likes of Tchouaméni, the likes of Bellingham, obviously Camavinga's, you know, getting better and better as the years go on. You know, you've got Vinicius and Rodrigo who can play on either wing, and then you've got Mbappe up top, and it's an interchangeable front three as well. And I think, you know, you could be looking at one of the best front threes there in world football. And I think for Mbappe, going to Real Madrid makes sense for multiple reasons, because he grew up as a fan there. Real Madrid I know they have their financial difficulties at the moment as well. In Spain, La Liga clubs always seem to have financial problems and then seem to just pull the money out of their arse somewhere, which is a little bit mad. But there's absolutely no question that Mbappe wants Real Madrid. Real Madrid want him, and he is the perfect fit for them, you know. And I think he goes there and he probably propels Real Madrid back to the Champions League without a shadow of a doubt. And when you've got Bellingham in there as well, and the age profile now looks very good for Real Madrid as opposed to a couple of years ago where you could see players aging, albeit they were still winning Champions Leagues, as I know, in 2022. But yeah, Mbappe to Real Madrid, cat's out of the cage. I think most people could predict that. I think that is what's going to happen. I did see a mad link the other day with Mbappe to Manchester United, which I thought, like... I mean, don't get me wrong, Manchester United are still, in terms of size, in terms of fan base and everything else, and in terms of history, still the biggest club in England, absolutely no shadow of a doubt. But I just think with the new ownership model and the way Man United has been ran over the last sort of like 5-6 years, I just don't see that happening, I don't think. And I think as well, it's probably likely Man United aren't in the Champions League next year. In fact, very likely, I think we would say, possibly not even in Europe as well. So I think for Man United, yeah, I think the Mbappe link there, little bit wild, that one. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below, which club does Mbappe sign for, and like, will Mbappe even live up to the hype in terms of what club he goes to? Like, because I think it is a make or break scenario for Mbappe in terms of becoming the absolute best. I think when Mbappe burst on the scene in 2018 and done what he done in the World Cup, and you know, in the early years for Paris Saint-Germain, was absolutely outstanding. We all assumed that Mbappe was going to be, you know, a player who regularly wins Ballon d'Ors after Messi and Ronaldo. And Messi and Ronaldo have slowed down over the last couple of years, even though Messi still won it last year. I do think it should have been Haaland, but that's a debate for another day. But Mbappe hasn't quite been able to kick on, and it's largely down to Paris Saint-Germain and not being able to get over the line in the Champions League. And I don't really think it's down to Mbappe per se, but I think he needs to kick on. He needs to go to a Real Madrid. He needs to go to a big club somewhere, because he has that talent. He has that ability. We all saw the hat-trick in the World Cup final, in 2022. He has the ability right there to go on and be, he's already a generational star, but he could go on and dominate in terms of winning Ballon d'Ors, because it's definitely there for him to do so, in my opinion. And I think it's up to him now. It's up to him to make the right move. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the Mbappe transfer saga? Does he stay? Does he leave? And yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. Appreciate some of the new subscribers coming in on the channel. Does give me more motivation with the videos and everything else. So do appreciate it. Hit the like button. I'll chat to you all soon.